Hello, I'm Suzanne Donovan. Today I'm joined by Rachel Heideck. We're going to be discussing organizing around health and safety in the context of the current COVID-19 pandemic and ways to make positive change in your workplace for you and your coworkers. Since we're talking about organizing around workplace safety and health, it's important to understand that under federal law, it is the employer's responsibility to provide a safe and healthful workplace. This became law with the passage of the OSHA Act in 1970. It's important to remember that workers don't only have to rely on their employer's choices to improve working conditions. Workers can make demands and organize for change in ways that are legally protected. However, we need to understand how to use those rights. So, if you're going to organize for safer workplaces during the current pandemic, what are some examples of COVID-19 related demands? Some things might include the enforcement of universal wearing of masks, reconfiguring work sites to reduce density, limit contact, and encourage social distancing using barriers, floor markings, expanded layouts, and reduced scheduling. You can also take steps to reduce density in shared spaces, take steps to reduce density in congested areas, ask for transparency regarding positive COVID-19 cases in the workplace, the following of rigorous disinfection protocols following positive cases, the providing of proper type of PPE, including different types of masks, as well as paid sick leave. The first thing that your employer can do is enforce proper wearing of masks when you are indoors in close, extended contact with others and where it's not possible to socially distance. Some studies show that an 80% adoption rate of wearing face coverings can significantly flatten the curve. If your employer is not enforcing the universal wearing of masks, they don't care about the safety of their workers. Although much of the talk has been around PPE and masks, it is the lowest rung on the workplace safety ladder. One of the best ways to reduce the risk of exposure is to increase physical distancing and separation. Some examples of ways to reconfigure work sites include installing floor markings, installing barriers to limit direct contact, reconfiguring the workspace to increase distances between workstations to comply with CDC guidance, and reducing overall density in the workplace. Reducing density in shared spaces is a part of reconfiguring work sites, but paying special attention to shared spaces such as break rooms and bathrooms is particularly important because these spaces have some of the highest risks of exposure. This can include changing shared spaces like break rooms, locker rooms, timed card stations to reduce crowding, adjusting scheduling to reduce density in shared spaces, and scheduling more frequent cleanings in shared areas. Along the same lines, it is important to identify and plan for the risk of exposures in congested areas such as entrances, elevators, hallways, stairs, etc. This can include a number of controls. In the picture we see here, they have barriers, they have markings on the floor that indicate how far away from the elevator people should stand. There's a barrier in the middle to tell people which side of the elevator to enter on, as well as clear signage indicating what you should do and proper protocols. Transparency regarding positive COVID-19 cases is extremely important in the workplace. In order to protect workers, it is important to identify when there is a COVID-19 case and who has been exposed. This will not only protect workers, it will also slow the spread, as well as protecting family members, community members, and loved ones as well. Employers should have a plan to rigorously clean following the identification of a positive COVID-19 case. Failing to adequately disinfect all possible points of contact risks infecting more employees. Our understanding of what it takes to effectively disinfect continues to evolve as we learn more about the virus. If you're concerned that your employer may not be doing enough, you can contact us at the Winkosh Worker Center. Employers are required to provide appropriate PPE and maintain an adequate supply. However, there's little in the way of industry by industry guidance, and what there is largely inadequate. For example, your employer may provide a bartender or waiter in a sports bar with cloth masks. However, with patrons likely to be engaged in loud talking, cheering, etc., a cloth mask will do basically nothing to protect those employees. In fact, remaining 6 feet apart is likely insufficient to keep workers safe in such circumstances. Workers may want to fight for N95 masks and face shields to have a minimal level of protection. It all depends on the level of risk that workers are willing to accept. Finally, we get to paid sick time. Even if your employer does everything else, without paid sick time, it can all be undone if a sick worker feels they do not have a choice but to report to work. Beyond the pandemic, Winkosh believes that paid sick time should be a right for all workers all of the time. Paid sick time has many benefits, including providing economic security, it provides security to both families and individuals, and allows for workers to care for themselves and their families without fear of reprisal. It can also help reduce the spread of many communicable diseases, including COVID-19.
So, if you want to improve the conditions of your workplace during COVID-19 and always, here are some initial steps that you can take. You can talk to your coworkers about improving these working conditions and concerns. You can discuss concrete changes to improve the workplace. Another good step is to evaluate resources, including organizational assets, customers, clientele, community partners, media, and employer-employee relations. Developing concrete goals that would lead to the changes you want is also a good step, as well as developing a plan, including tactics and methods to achieve those goals.
If you have questions about any of the things that we've discussed in this video, or would like to start organizing in your workplace, you can contact us at 716-206-3550, which is our hotline and is available in 14 languages. You can also contact us via email at inquiry@winkosh.org, and we're happy to answer any questions you have about your workplace and your rights.